Hey guys, this is NHSDL06. Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Sword of Seals. So we ended off, well, we almost ended off last video with beginning the enemy's turn. So we're going to go ahead and do that now by allowing Thaming to move. That's okay. This Nomad was the only enemy that we failed to extinguish at the end of, or during the video. Let's see. Okay, well, in that case, excuse me, I burped. That's inappropriate. I just had a bunch of food though. Unfortunately for me, whenever I get on break, I find that I have a habit of staying up later and getting up later. And since my sleep schedule becomes fairly irregular, so does my eating schedule, which kind of sucks. So getting up at, past noon every day forces me to not feel hungry for a couple more hours after that, which usually results in me not being hungry until almost 2 and 3. So eating lunch at 2 or 3, then eating dinner around, 7 or 8, not usually hungry for dinner, and then by the time it's like 11:30, I'm starving, and then that keeps me up longer. So I'm gonna have to break myself with that here real quick because school is on the heels, but then I'm gonna be on another break even too long after that. So I don't know, I'm a bit of a mess. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and visit this village, and we're given the Gantt Lance, which is what I made reference of an item being interesting. We're gonna go ahead and look at that real quick. It's something that's only in this game. It says a lance wielded by Gantt. Now I don't know a lot of information about this lance, but what I do know is that it's comparable to a steel lance in terms of usefulness, and I think Gantt, and there's another item that goes along with this. I believe Gantt and another character that we'll learn about later are from the Sword of Seals comic books. I believe there were comic books that were made for the series, and that's what these are about. So I don't really know a lot about them. Excuse me again. So I apologize for not knowing about those. I'd never really read them. Maybe if I had read them, this would make more sense, but I haven't. So my apologies, but you get the idea. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and keep progressing. Something that I was thinking about a few minutes before I started this recording was about how I hate my room at home. And I don't hate my room because of what's in it or what it looks like, anything like that. That's not what this is about. I don't like my room mainly for the fact that it's so cold and so hot. The temperature of my room generally has a tendency to fluctuate somewhere in the realm of 5 to 10 degrees, depending upon what season it is. So during the winter, whatever the rest of the house is, let's say that my parents have it up to 70 or something like that, it'll generally be 60 to 65 in my room. The heat just doesn't reach my room for some reason, so I have to have an external heater just to make my room livable, which blows. I don't know why the AI would have done that. That's kind of strange. And here's something else that I was thinking of. Recently, I usually try to pick a game that I'm going to play pretty heavily on break, just for fun. So I always pick a game that I really want to... I generally try to pick a new game or a game that I haven't played in a while, and I try to pick a game that I'm going to be able to finish. So, actually, one second, I'm going to send Rutger back here to take care of this bozo. So, I try to pick a game that hasn't been played, or I just want to crack off a big part of it. And so, the game that I chose this time around was a game that I got into a little bit, but I didn't have I didn't have the translation, so I didn't really want to play it in Japanese, but I found a really great translation online, just by Googling, which is what many of you should do if you can't find the things that you want. It really helps. Google all the thinking for you, it's magic. So, I was looking around online, thank you, Alan, and I found a almost complete English translation patch for Pokemon White. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, Pokemon, that's boring, right? And, I don't know, people discredit the Pokemon series for being childish or for being boring, because after all, what is there to offer every time, since it's the same gameplay style, the same Pokemon for the most part. I mean, I know they add new ones, but it's the same game mechanics, the same this, the same that, right? The same qualms that everybody has with every game in this series. Well, I'm still a pretty decent fan of the series. I like it. I don't go overboard. I don't make competitive battling teams. And I'm not saying that those of you who do that it's a bad thing. That's your choice. If you enjoy that, that's completely up to you. I personally am not a fan of doing that. I tried it once, couldn't get into it. So for the most part, I found that the series still, for me, has relevance, and I like it. And as such, I still will pick up the games as they come out. So that guy has a 42% chance to hit him on a force. That's pretty good. His must have high skill. But anyway, so like I said, my game of choice for this time around was Pokemon White. I picked White not because I'm a racist. And I could use the joke, I hate all races equally, but that's not funny. Xenophobia is not a joke, guys. Anyway, so basically, I picked Pokemon White because I thought that Zekrom, the guy on the front, I feel lame for knowing that, I feel like he has better, I don't know, he just seemed better in my opinion. So basically, I wanted to make sure that I used him, or at least got to fight him, something of that nature. And so I picked White, and not to mention I liked the version exclusives better. And I thought that the White Forest, which was the version exclusive environment, was cooler than Black City. I like the way I said that. Black City, that sounds horrible. But anyway, so yeah, that's part of my reasoning, I guess, my thought process. And I liked it starting, like, even playing it in Japanese. I thought that graphically it was wonderful. It looked great. It was really easy to pick up. The starters were, I mean, they weren't the greatest, but they weren't bad either. I thought those were nice. I thought it had a lot of variety. They really tried to appeal to a greater audience by including a female professor, having 2 rivals this time around instead of just 1. Unfortunately, the female rival, since I could read her dialogue as it was translated in English, is really annoying. Not a fan of her at all. I wouldn't mind if she was killed with fire, things like that. So basically, who do I want to give this to? Chad or Alan? They both have the same amount of experience. I'll give it to Alan. So I decided to play that game, and I played it furiously. This entire week I played it for at least 3 or 4 hours, which is ridiculous. I don't usually play games that much, but I really was into it. Weapon level increase. Let's check that out real quick. D. I was really into it, and so I played it a lot, and I got all the way through the Elite Four, which was kind of cool, because the Elite Four in the game is structured far differently than any other Elite Four. I don't want to spoil it for any of you. It's structured far differently. Very interesting. They did a wonderful job with it. They did a wonderful job with the entire game itself. And the story was what really set this one apart. Not to say that the story is great, because it's not. I mean, there's only so much you can do with evil villains taking over the world for X reasons. But I thought that the reasoning, at least, behind this one was a little bit more modern, with the main enemies of the game, Team Plasma is what they're known. They at least made it a little more modern by their quest being to liberate Pokemon from their owners, because they feel that by being owned that they're their slaves, and that's not right. So basically, It's kind of like a glorified PETA almost, which is cool. Because I mean, there are nut jobs out there that believe that kind of crap. Like we shouldn't have pets because there are slaves and whatever. So, you know, that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. And oh man, come on, Rutger. He'll get stronger. Don't worry. And so, for the most part, I really liked it. And the ending was fantastic. After beating the Elite Four, crazy stuff happens. And it's stuff that I never would have personally expected. My friend had already played through it, and he told me that it was cursy. And I was like, no way, dog. Are you for reals? And he was like, I'm for reals. And I was like, alright. I need to get loose some more fire. Oh, third burp in a video. That's too many. So, I'm going to go to the shop real quick and see what we can get. Fire, heal staff, vulnerary, and a door key. We're just going to go with 2 books of fire. You can buy them before the chapter starts from some shop owner, but I don't recommend doing that because it's expensive. And there's going to be enemies that come from here and from here, I believe. After so many turns, I don't quite remember, but just make sure that you're not caught off guard, so have people with swords and the like in the area. Okay. Yeah. So that was the game that I picked for this break. I'm not sure what I'll do for Christmas break. Christmas break for me is 25 days long, which is a long time for those of you who don't know. All right. So let's keep going. Sorry about that. Gonna move Thaney right here. I don't even remember what my train of thought was. Oh, Christmas break for me is 25 days long, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do then. Probably something else, I don't know. Maybe I'll actually do something productive. I've got a lot of stuff coming my way with working on getting an internship. So that's pretty exciting. Other than that, I don't know. I don't usually play games on a consistent basis. It's just that from time to time I'll just get really into a game like this. Whenever there's a new Fire Emblem that comes out, except for the DS ones because I don't like those at all. Whenever there's a new Fire Emblem that comes out, I'll usually have that same phenomena that occurs. Okay. Give Lou should be, look at those stats. Nice. Lou should be stepping into getting new magics soon. Very soon. Okay. I really want to use Lou, but he can't reach. We'll use a little bit of Chad Brocho Cinco here. And then we'll kill him with fire. No. We'll use good old Lance here. Lance Bass. And it sounds almost like it's raining outside, but I'm not sure. That might just be the fan from my computer. Which, how could I confuse those two? I don't know. Alright, I'm actually going to send Marcus down here because I don't like the look of that mage. I don't think this guy's going to be able to do much, just because Chad's evade is 41 without any herbal supplements or enhancers. So, pretty impressive, not gonna lie. I'm not sure when you guys are gonna see this video. This might be, you might not see this until next week. Thinking, because I don't really want to do any more than one video a week, based on my schedule. Because I'm riding on the coattails of finals, and I'd rather not burden myself by making too many videos. Because I want to keep going. I don't want to stop. I just don't want to make too many of them. Just like ruin myself. Whew, that was close. Alright. We're getting close to the end of this video, so perhaps after the end of this enemy turn, we'll stop. Get a level up, that's nice. Ugh, come on, Chad. 5 strength? I expect so much more out of you. Oh, I forgot that I gave him a weapon. Ugh. Okay. Hopefully this mage attacks you from a distance so we don't sap any more experience. You got 5 from that. Ugh, you are a piece of crap. My mistake. I'm gonna call it quits after this turn. Yep. That sounds... Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll take my next player's turn next time. So guys, I've been NHSDL06. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.